Come onto your mat. We're actually going to start lying down. If you have blocks, that is great. If you don't worry about it. If you have a wall space, again, great, because we will be using that later. And we're going to start by rolling a blanket. So you've got a nice thick blanket to place parallel to the short edge of your mat. And come down over that blanket, resting the blanket so that it's at the bra line at the back of the body or towards the bottom of the shoulder blades. And then lie back over the blanket, choosing a position for the arms. It could be overhead, they could be out to each side, they could be bent in cactus position. And then choose a position for your legs. It could be bent, the knees just resting on the floor and the feet resting on the floor and the knees falling together. Or you might like to come into butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees dropping out to either side. Use height under your head, another blanket or some other form of support if it's necessary. And take your time getting yourself set up. Relax the belly and the chest, relax the shoulders. Sink over your height, over your prop. Letting the spine drop off, drape off, and settling everything down. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Notice how it feels to bring your attention onto your breathing. And think about the last time you noticed the breath. The session today I've titled Stop to Start. So it's all about becoming still, stopping, thinking, getting the mind focused, and then moving. This very first pose of the class today is a full stop. We find our shape and then let ourselves sink into it. Only moving if we find that we're getting uncomfortable, we need to adjust our position. Otherwise, staying where we are. Letting the whole body rest, recline, focusing on the breathing. Noticing the cadence of your breath and where you're breathing into. Encourage the breath into the belly. Feel the belly lift as you inhale and release as you exhale. Turning the mind inward, focusing on that inner movement. Whenever you notice yourself losing track of your breathing, whenever you notice yourself stopping your focus on the present moment, onto your body, bring that attention back. Repeat this as many times as you need. You might find that it is something that you have to do regularly during a still pose. Exercising our mindful muscle. Letting go of those future thinking and past thinking thoughts. Letting yourself be solely in the present moment. And as you next exhale, begin to bring the knees together if you've had them in Baddha Konasana. And carefully roll to one side, lifting up onto your elbow to move your blanket out of the way completely and return to lying on your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest, hug the knees in and give the back body, a little massage, rolling across the shoulders. Letting the inner groin release if you had been in butterfly pose. No longer stretching through the adductors, but letting the inner thighs and inner groin be soft, relaxed. Keep your right knee tucked into your body and stretch the left leg along the floor. Interlock your hands over the shin of that right leg and pull the knee towards your chest, letting the weight of the arms sink downward. Feel into the belly. We're stopping here before we start. Stopping in this movement where the thigh is pushing against your belly, creating pressure on the internal organs. And then release the hold a little bit so that the knee or the thigh isn't quite so pulled in. And begin to circle your ankle, circling your right ankle in one direction. Noticing if there's any clicking. And then circle in the other direction. Coming to stillness with this ankle, release the hold of your hands and keep your right hand on your right knee. Relax your left arm beside you and begin to circle the right knee. So whilst we're making circles with the knee, the focus is on the coxal joint, that ball and socket joint of the hip. Circling the knee one way, and then pause and circle the other way. And then coming to stillness, stretch the right foot up towards the ceiling and interlock your hands behind your right thigh. Check in with how strong this feels in the back of the right leg. You might like to bend your left knee and place the foot on the floor so that you've not got too much of a strain in the back of the right leg. Reach the heel up towards the ceiling, pull the toes back. If you like using a strap, you can always use a strap in this position. But otherwise, stay with the hands interlocked behind the thigh. Relax the shoulders. It's a little bit of traction with the hands against the hamstrings as your body starts to open. Visualize that you have a third lung in the back of the right leg and breathe into that lung. Sink the both hips downward. And as you exhale next, release the hold of your hands. Let your left arm relax beside you. If you haven't bent your left leg already, bend it now just for a little bit of stability. And then begin to open your right leg to the right. I've got my right hand resting on the outer thigh, quite close to the knee, and the right elbow's leveraging off the floor. The right leg is opening to the right. The left leg can stay where it is, or it can open to the left as a counterbalance. You want to try and maintain your sacrum, that fused bones at the back of the body, just above the tailbone. You want to maintain that being balanced and flat on the earth, so your pelvic bone isn't tilting. The leg might not come out very far. Again, we're stretching into that inner thigh region, just as we did in butterfly pose. And as you inhale, bring yourself back to center. And from here, we're going to come into a twist, taking the right leg across the body Stretching the left leg away from you so you've got room to twist the right leg to the left. Open the right arm to the right if that's comfortable for you. You might like to circle it around your head. Take the inside of the right foot all the way to the floor and maybe support that leg, that straight leg, with your left hand, resting it somewhere on that leg so the weight of the hand and arm helps to keep the leg in place. Feel the body revolving. After a few breaths, you might find you want to relax a little bit more here. Maybe bring a slight bend into one or both legs. Take the head and neck into a relatively neutral position so you're not feeling strain through your neck. And focus on sending the breath into the belly. As you next inhale, prepare your body for movement. And on exhalation, we're slowly going to bring ourselves back around to lying in a central position on our mat. Bring both knees in towards your chest and then lift to the feet, taking hold of the outside of the feet, coming into happy baby. If happy baby doesn't really work for you, you can always hold the arms around the backs of the knees or the backs of the thighs, or you can just hug the knees into your chest. You'll find that position that works for you. And then you might like to rock slightly from side to side. Massaging the kidneys and the spine. And a little bit of movement into the hip space. As you next exhale, coming back to center, taking the right foot down to the floor and stretching the leg away from you, keeping the left knee tucked in towards the chest. Interlock your hands around that shin and pull the knee inward. Taking some deep, slow breaths, feeling the compression of the thigh as it pushes into your belly. Giving some stimulation on to the stomach and the spleen on the side and the descending colon. Again, stopping to start. And once you're ready for some movement, begin to circle your left ankle. Circling in one direction, letting the hands relax a little so you're no longer pulling that thigh in towards your belly. And then circle the ankle the other direction. Releasing your right arm to rest beside you. Keep your left hand on your left knee and begin to circle that knee. Painting lovely big circles into the air. Waking up the coxal joint on the left side of our pelvic bone. Circling around where the head of the femur bone meets the pelvic bone. And then circle the other way. Coming to stillness, interlock your hands around the back of your thigh and stretch the left foot up towards the ceiling. Push up with the heel, pull back with the toes, and maybe bend your right leg so that you're taking a little bit of the pressure out of that left leg. Means you can be a little more comfortable in this pose. Keep the heel pushing up. This is another place that you can do ankle circles if you'd like to. Visualizing that third lung in the back of the leg, breathing into that space. Not forgetting about the original two lungs, continuing to keep them expanding and contracting. And as you next exhale, release your arms. Keep your left hand outside the left thigh. Let the left leg start to open to the left. Maybe the right leg counterbalances that by opening to the right. The aim here is to keep the sacrum or the pelvic bone completely level so that you're not tilting to one side or the other, but are quite balanced against the earth. Feel the sensation into the inner thigh and into the groin. Let the weight of that leg rest on the left hand, the left elbow into the floor. Let the shoulders relaxed. As you next inhale, bring your both legs back to center if you had your right leg open to the other side. And we're going to come into that twist now. Stretch the right leg away from you and bring the left foot all the way across to the floor, letting your right hand support that left leg, resting the hand on top of the leg wherever it's comfortable. Inside of the foot to the earth, or you can support it if you'd like to on something. The left arm is either out open to the side or curled around your head. Wringing out the belly here. Take a few breaths with quite straight legs. And then if that's too strong to stay for a long time, let the legs soften a little, the foot maybe sliding down, putting a little bend in the knees. So you decide how strong this pose is. Focus on breathing fully into both lungs. And the front body open. Each of the vertebrae of the spine revolving on their axis. Taking the spine into a different shape. As you next take a breath in, prepare yourself for movement. And as you exhale, slowly begin to unwind, returning to your back, readjusting yourself on your mat. Taking a couple of breaths here with the arms resting beside you, the knees bent, the feet wide apart, and the knees falling in toward one another. Set yourself up for Shavasana so that the whole body is comfortable, so that you're fully reclined against the earth, taking a blanket over you if that's a benefit. And choosing a point to start your focus on. Let that point relax and then spread your attention throughout your body. Everywhere the mind rests, send the breath, the focus, and invite it to relax. Systematically working through each part of your body until your whole body feels relaxed against the earth. And you can continue to do this as you stay in Shavasana. Keep moving the mind through different parts of the body, becoming aware of each different part. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Releasing your focus on your breathing, begin to prepare your body for movement. Start small. Give your fingers a wriggle. Stretch out your toes, your feet, your hands, your wrists, your ankles. And then build up until you're stretching out your whole body. The limbs far away from each other, reaching and opening, waking your whole body up. As you feel ready to bend your knees, and you could roll to the side first, or you could make your way directly up to sitting. And then the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart space, gently bowing the head in honour of your practice. Namaste.